That dude right next to me is a legend, folks. He was one half of a decades-long run as one of the most successful morning programs in Bay Area history. And now he's joining my little program here, Paul McCaffrey, and yours truly. It's golden. We're in a daze. It's Friday. Let's get into this. It's the golden days, baby.
Hey, Cyrus, I love you. I feel right at home on any show that's called The Days. I'm in the days half my waking hours anyway, so I fit right in, man.
You do, and here we go. Here's the open. This is going to be the last time I think we're going to hear from Bill O'Reilly. So, Bill, thank you for carrying us the first month of the show, and away we go.
That is it for us today, and we will leave you with I can't do it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. And things suck. Woo! Let's go.
In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Come on and break me off. Cause I get what I want and I like what I see.
Oh, this is the build-up, Paulie. This is where it gets a little packed up. From music, 90, 8, 10. Whatever it is, it's rock and roll time. He's Paulie Mac. Are you active on Twitter, man? Promote away. What do you have going on as you build up to your own program's launch? But for now, how can people follow you, dude? What are you doing on social media?
Not too much. I mean, I'm just basically staying connected, like with my friends and my audience and stuff. It's been a good way. You know, for example, a couple of nights ago, I went down and I saw the Rolling Stones at Levi Stadium on, what was that? That was Wednesday. And
how was that, by the way? I saw them live like 10 years ago. It was incredible. What was your experience?
No, they were amazing, dude. It's crazy. Like at this point too, they're so old, but like, you know, Jagger is still running around the stage. He just runs around singing like at his age. It's pretty amazing. But I was going to say that, that's an example of like, you know, I was talking to people about the Stones show and stuff like that. And as far as like promoting anything, I have an event coming up on August 10th at Sweetwater in Mill Valley, where I'll be doing like a Q&A with Jake Peavy from your World Series 2014 San Francisco Giants. I'm going to do a Q&A with him, and then his band is going to play. Special guests include Tim Flannery. I think Sergio Romo's going to be there, not playing music, but I think I'll be hanging out. And Jackie Green, great guitar player, great singer. John Molo, great drummer. So anyway, that'll be on August 10th. And I'll be doing the Q&A, as I said, little MC work. And then tickets will benefit the Giants Community Fund. So it's a good cause. Yeah, it's a good cause. And plus, Jake I'll tell you what, have you ever seen Jake Peavy play guitar or sing, Cyrus?
I remember him with the Padres. I barely even remember him playing baseball for the Giants, let alone him being a musician. So no,
he's good. He's like, he really got into it. So when he was on the Giants, apparently like on road trips, he would bring his guitar and he would play with Tim Flannery, like in hotels and stuff. They would sit around and play songs. And Peavy's a big Grateful Dead fan, like I am. So we've always kind of bonded on that. Like we talk a lot of Grateful Dead. And it's funny, one final Peavy note, like back in the day when he was pitching on the Giants, Cyrus, like if you went into the clubhouse on the day of a Peavy start, all you would hear in the clubhouse is Grateful Dead. Like he would take over. Like, so whoever the starting pitcher is gets to be the DJ for the day in the clubhouse. And Peavy, dude, you would hear like Fire on the Mountain, Touch of Grey, Hell in a Bucket, like. So he's a great guy, and he's a good guitar player, good singer. So anyway, join us on August 10th. Other than that, I'm just chilling.
Do me a favor. So August 10th is going to be your event with a bunch of the Giants players benefiting the Giants Community Fund. That's going to be a Saturday. So do me a favor, and on Friday, August 9th, come on the show, and let's hype it up, man. We'll see what's going on with the Warriors. That's about 3 weeks from now. Yeah. So hopefully something new has happened, man. And Paulie, real fast, I feel like if anyone has a good sense of humor, so I can pull I don't know if you call this a prank, but I find this to be comical. Speaking of social media, Paul McCaffrey, if you want to follow him on LinkedIn, he has excellent profile photo, amazing header.
I didn't even know they were still there. I didn't even know.
Your name is not even spelled right.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What's on there? I don't even know what's on there. I haven't even seen
Is this really you?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't been over there in years. What's going on my LinkedIn
Look,
page?
education, college grad. You don't even name the school. You're just like college grad. Don't worry about where I went to school. I
don't even think, Cyrus, you know what's so funny? I don't even think I built that. I don't even know who put that up. I don't even think I did that. And if I did, I have no memory of it. So anyway.
I don't know why I came across that.
Hey, you're better off. If you really do want to hit me up for any reason, hit me at Pauly's Pod on Twitter. That's a better way.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just saw that the other day, and I was like, I got to bring this up the next time I see him because that is comedy. So anyways, Pauly, I love you, man. And again, you can follow him on Pauly's Pod on Twitter. You can follow me, Cyrus Saatsaz, over on Threads and Instagram at Dog Wild. And I am also on Twitter, although I'm not very active given how massively huge of a cesspool that platform is. But if you do want to follow me there, it's at Surf Journalist. Pauly, man, this is a Warriors program.
Okay,
you asked me before we started that you want to get into like the nitty gritty. Like you want to talk about like, is Quentin Post a better left-handed dribbler than a right? I'm kidding. I'm obviously teasing. We're not going to get into that ridiculously level of a nuance. But what is your take, man, on this Warriors squad so far? We're going to hear from Joe Lacob in a moment because he actually went public with saying that he thinks Brandin Podziemski's going to be an all-star someday. He thinks that Podz is basically going to be the team's number 2 guy supporting Stephen Curry, because right now on paper, I don't even know who the hell is the number 2 guy to support Stephen Curry. But what is your assessment? They got 3 big free agents. I don't know if you call them big, but they got 3 free agents: Kyle Anderson, Buddy Hield, DeAnthony Melton. I thought they could have gotten 3 much superior options than that. And more specifically, in terms of individual, like instead of Kyle Anderson, they could have gotten the guy from the Indiana Pacers, who I'm completely brain farting on. Anyway, the point is, what are your thoughts on this offseason, dude? Like,
well, for starters, I got to say, like, just on an emotional level, like on a fan level, being a fan of this team, I really was sorry to see Klay Thompson go. And I get the way the business works. Like, I totally understand. We've been through this before, whether it was somebody like Joe Montana, for God's sakes, or Will Clark. A beloved, iconic figure in the Bay Area, on one of the major sports teams when they leave town. Like, it always hurts on some level. And to me, Klay Thompson, he represented not just like the great shooting prior to the injuries, like the lockdown defense. He was a great defender before he got hurt. And yeah, I would say he's like an average defender now, but like he always balanced out like that team to me, like with his easygoing vibe and like his cool attitude, for all the intensity of Draymond Green, or like, the nastiness of like Bogut and Zaza or David West. Like, Klay was always like the chill, kind of cool, happy-go-lucky guy. And, I've talked to him a few times, and he was always like a really, really enjoyable conversation. Like, anytime I crossed paths with him, I did a couple events with him back in the day in Oakland, and just a really nice guy, like very genuine. So sorry to see him.
We're talking about Klay Thompson?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because every experience I ever had with him, and granted, this was not an interview. Interviews are a different story, but every time I had an experience with him, it was always in like some sort of setting where media were around. He looked miserable, man. Like he just wanted to get the hell out of there. But you're saying he actually was pleasant. His demeanor was friendly.
Because the times I talked to him and like had like meaningful conversations were like at practice, or like a couple of times, like he was involved with a couple of companies in the Bay Area, and when he would have events, I would go kind of MC the events and interview him and stuff. So he was always really cool to me. But with his exit, like I kind of agree with you, Cyrus. Like the free agency, like I like Buddy Hield, good player, nice player, but is he gonna like change the complexion of this team? Like I don't know. Like I really don't know. I know when he gets hot, he can he can score some points. But I'm starting to get the feeling, and I want to ask you a question, Cyrus. Like, I'm starting to get a feeling that, and we'll go back to Podziemski in a second. I don't want to. I'll go there, but I'm starting to almost sniff out that. Are you sensing like free agents maybe don't want to come to Golden State now, or is that like something I'm reading into? Do you get that sense at all?
Pauly, I've been saying for my entire life as an adult, as a media member, I've been hammering this point with the previous show, with this show on the Rick Barry show.
Yeah.
The Golden State Warriors have never been an ideal destination for free agents. I mean, look, back in the day before the dynasty before Stephen Curry. I mean, Corey Maggette was like the biggest free agent signing of the last 20 years. Again, this was before Steph. And that's not saying much, right? I mean, they did get Kevin Durant, but that was when the Warriors had just won 73 games. The Andre Iguodala was a huge one.
That's what I was going to say.
But outside of the dynasty, this team has always struggled to get free agents, which is why I always am perturbed when the team is not being aggressive on that side of things, because you can't just expect players to show up. That's never been the identity of the Warriors, is a free agent destination. So that's my thought on it. Sorry to interrupt and prolong.
No, dude. I asked you, like, and I wonder, like, I don't know if they have enough right now to seriously, like, contend. Like, I don't feel like they do, to be honest. And Podziemski, like, I like him. I think we all like him. Like, we all like Brandin. He's a good kid. He's a good player. He's going to get better. He's young. He'll continue to develop. But to try to put him up on a pedestal where you're calling him like a blue chip marquee player, a potential all-star caliber talent, I don't want to disrespect the kid, because I do, like I said, I like him. I'm a fan. I like his game. But I'm not going there. I'm not ready to say that until I see it. Like, I'm not going to anoint him as an all-star caliber talent when there is so much competition in the Western Conference as it is.
Yeah.
Those spots are hard to come by. So, I'm just saying, I'm a little cautious with going that far with Podziemski at this point. And what did you have? You said you have some Lacob stuff on that point?
Yeah, we're going to play some sound. Well, first of all, Robin the Bay in the chat loves you, Paulie, and rightfully so. She was, I think it's a she. If you're not, I apologize. But a lot of exuberance at your appearance today. And they bring up Baron Davis. He was acquired in a trade. If I remember correctly, the Warriors got Baron Davis. It was a very one-sided trade. I think it was Dale Davis was one of the players, right? I think it was Dale Davis and Speedy.
That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right.
Dale Davis, by the way, Trace Jackson Davis's father. Fascinating tidbit there on it.
You know what? While you mentioned that kid, hold on one second. Stop right there. I'm glad you mentioned Trace. Like, we're talking about like trajectory of young players and guys that are going to rise and elevate and get better. Like that kid, I have like a lot of hopes pinned on that kid. He just strikes me as a guy who understands the game. He's so young. Like, I like his Indiana pedigree. I like the program he came from. And I just think, like, he has the potential to, I think, become, like, a really, really good NBA caliber player. I don't know. How do you view him, Cyrus? Trace Jackson Davis.
First of all, dude, I was so elated, man, when the Warriors shocked everyone by announcing that they drafted him. I was stoked, dude, because the mocks had a lot of mock drafts had Trace Jackson Davis going mid-first round. The kid could play. The entire reason he fell as far as he did, it was two reasons primarily. One, most teams don't like drafting players his age. He came into the NBA, I think 23, 24. And B, as a second-round player, he made it very clearly known to every team out there that he was not going to be happy if he wasn't offered a guaranteed contract, which is not the norm for second-rounders. Quentin Post is currently in this quagmire himself, where I think the team wants to sign him to a two-way deal, but they already filled up those 3 two-way spots, and they don't have enough cap space to give him a veteran minimum deal. So I don't know what's going to happen with Quentin Post, but going back to Trace Jackson Davis, I love the kid, dude. I love him. He's earned a starting role as the center for this team. That's what I think.
He can block shots. And you know what I think? Like, the game is not too, like, he's not overwhelmed by the game. Like, sometimes when you see kids come into the pros, it's so fat. Like take a kid like, I don't know, like, remember McCaw, like Pat McCaw, like, so it takes time. Like, and sometimes guys don't adapt that well. But to me, Trace Jackson Davis he just kind of slid right in, and he looks like he belongs. So anyway, I have a lot of hopes on his future.
Me too, brother. Me too. Yeah. I love the kid. I actually love Brandin Podziemski. We had someone in the chat earlier who mentioned that they compared Trace Jackson Davis. I'm sorry, Brandin Podziemski right here. And I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Abhinav Mishra writes, Brandin Podziemski appears to be a version of Dante DiVincenzo. And I disagree with that. I think Podziemski's ceiling is much higher for a couple of reasons. One, we're going to see Podziemski's three-point shooting be superb this year. He shot.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Because he shot 43.8% from deep in college. Like, he got drafted. He was a first-round pick for 2 reasons. One is the shooting. Again, he's a lights-out shooter, and he started showing that the last month. I'm going to pull up his stats while I have you on the show. While you're talking, I'm going to find it. because there's a stat where last season, I think it was the last month, it was the last 20 games. I'm going to try to find that right now because I keep talking about it, where he shot over 60% from deep at the end of the season. So we started to see that 3-point shot that I think Mike Dunleavy Jr. envisioned would arrive in due time with his development. So there's that part of it. And then there's the fact that he averaged 8.5 rebounds per game in college, or maybe even 8.8. I can't remember the final number, but we've already seen the rebounding, right? The guy is tough. He's tenacious. Dante DiVincenzo is maybe slightly better as a defender because of lateral quickness, but Podziemski is no slouch himself defensively. He's not going to win any awards as a defender, but I don't think he's a liability either. Right. But I love the kid, man. Now whether or not he's going to be an all-star, that's a different beast entirely. Let's hear from Joe Lacob. Let's play this soundbite real fast. Cool. And then I'd love to get your thoughts, Paulie, on whether or not you think Joe Lacob's just selling as a businessman, Brandin Podziemski's value. Maybe he truly did this and he's being authentic. But here was Joe Lacob. This was during Summer League. But then what are your thoughts, side note, on the fact that Summer League has become like the place to go, the scene to be seen at? Summer League is like, it's insane what it used to be to what it is now. Like, what are your thoughts on that, man?
That's a great, dude. I'm so glad you're bringing this up. This is so funny. So I have 2 sons, and my youngest son, he's like 20 years old now, but he, when he was a younger kid, 10, 11, 12, 13, like those years, he became a huge Summer League junkie because like he'd be like 10 years old, home from school in the summer, and he'd just be like, "Hey, Dad, the Cavaliers are playing the Clippers in Summer League." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I don't know." So he would but you're right, like the way it's turned into like the place to be seen now and all this kind of stuff. It's good for the NBA. It's good business. It's like a good destination if you're in Vegas. You can go catch NBA caliber basketball like in the middle of the summer. It's kind of cool. And you know what I like about it, Cyrus? I like how relaxed the environment is. Like, the coaches are relaxed. The players are chilling. Like, it's just like, I have never been to a Summer League game, although I would go to one. Have you ever seen one in person?
Yeah, back in like 2011 or 12. And it was completely different. It was, I was explaining this yesterday, man. Like you could smell cigarette smoke. You can see the $5 hookers, like, perusing the stands, looking for the next victim. There's no celebrities. It was literally just degenerate gamblers, the most hardcore basketball junkies. That was Summer League. And then now it's like high class hookers.
Oh, dude, now it's like going to Studio 54. You know what I mean? It's like a VIP list. Yeah. Red carpet. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So anyway, here is the Joe Lacob soundbite.
Okay.
And I'm not going to play the video of it. We're only going to hear the audio just because I don't want to get flagged for copyright. I don't know how vigorous and rigid ESPN is. And this was during an ESPN broadcast. Well, here the soundbite. This was Joe Lacob being interviewed in regards, and the topic discussion turned to Brandin Podziemski. So let's hear what the owner of the Warriors, Joe Lacob, had to say. Future All-Star, Paul. Your thoughts?
Well, I think, what, Cyrus, I've always known you're a smart guy, and I think your instincts are
right back at you, brother. Thank you.
I think your instincts are pretty good right here. I think what you have here is, yes, you have a case where you have a good, young, promising player. It's fine to heap some praise on the kid, but to say he's a future All-Star, it's like a little premature. And I think, like you said, I think that this is one of those moments where he's getting like his Gene Simmons on from Kiss,
Yeah, right, exactly.
He's just making everything. He's just trying to prop it up. He's trying to like encourage the fans, let everybody know it's going to be a good year. We got young talent. I think he's trying to sell you on the idea that Podziemski will elevate to all-star caliber or status. But I do think there's some, I think Lacob means what he says. I don't think Lacob is like full of crap or anything, but I think he's overly, I don't know. His expectations might be a little bit high for where he is at this point in his career. I mean, do you see Podziemski as like an all-star in the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 seasons? Like, do you see that as a possibility?
Well, before I answer that, everyone in the chat is saying they did not hear the audio. So I'm gonna play this clip again.
Oh,
and
okay.
this time I'm gonna hope that YouTube doesn't flag it. But it's I can't like not play it now.
Okay.
So let me find that clip again. This experiment failed because you and I were testing that out before, but apparently you and I can hear it. The crowd could not.
Well, I would say first, even if you play it and the viewers can't hear it, you can just read the quote. Just tell them what he said. If it doesn't,
I'm just gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. Screw it. I'm gonna hope that we get away with it. And if not, whatever, man. It's one show or I'll lose money. It's okay. So here is one more time. This time, so everyone can hear it, including the podcast. So basically, if you're listening to the podcast, you just got a good 40 seconds of dead air. I apologize for that. Here once again is Joe Lacob at Summer League.
Well, Brandin Podziemski, I know he's not playing tonight, but he's played so well through Summer League. He's had 1 year of experience now. I just talked to him a little bit ago. He said he was actually really nervous for Summer League last year. And now having that year of experience, he feels confident this year and his game has been growing. What did you see from him in his rookie season?
Oh, my God. He was a revelation, to be quite honest. I mean, he was one of the, all rookie team, top 5 in the league. He started a whole bunch of games for us. Steve had troubles getting him off the floor. I mean, he had to have him on the floor. He was so good. He does so many things well. He's ultra confident. He's got an NBA body. He can get wherever he wants. He obviously can shoot threes. He can drive. He can pass. I mean, what can he do? We're really excited. We think we've got a future all-star. We really do.
Woo! Future all-star. Okay, now everyone else heard it, even though it sounds old to us now. So what was your question again? I apologize. Do I think Podziemski is going to be an all-star?
Yeah, I was just asking, like, what, because I know, like, there's not many people know, like, the ins and outs of Warrior basketball like you, because I know you watch every single news feed and you know what's going on. Like, I'm just being realistic. Like, I think he's a good young player. Like, I think that's accurate. That's a fair assessment. But I asked you if you think, like, realistically, he has potential to be an all-star within the next 2 or 3 seasons. And it's really not only about his development, Cyrus. Like I said earlier, it's about the competition in the Western Conference. There's a lot of good players at his position in the West.
Yep.
That's all. Yeah.
Yep. So before I answer that, in the month of April, and granted the sample size in April is a little smaller than other months, he played a total, I think, 9 games in the month of April, or 8. But with that said, he shot in the month of April 58.8% from deep. Damn close to 60.
Yeah.
That's exemplary, dude. And I'll put it this way, man. If the Warriors can somehow sign Lauri Markkanen, I know you got to go in just a second, man. I can't believe we're up against the clock. But and first of all, I don't know if you know this, Paulie. Lauri Markkanen, his first name is pronounced Lowry, like Mike Lowry from Bad Boys. So it's Lauri Markkanen. But if the Warriors can somehow get Mike Lowry Markkanen without giving up Podziemski and Kuminga, they're legitimate contenders this next season, and they are set up for the next 5 to 10 years because Lauri Markkanen will be the transition piece while Podziemski and Kuminga develop and while we see Steph and Draymond right off into the sunset. But I love the kid. I do think the potential is there for an all-star appearance.
Yeah, right.
And the main reason for that is because of the fact that he's a very physical player. Like, he can take the hits. He's got a build similar to Jalen Brunson, except he's 2 inches taller than Jalen Brunson. And we just saw year 1, dude, and he only played 2 years of college ball. And he's the youngest member of the Golden State Warriors still, which is incredible. Jonathan Kuminga, by the way, still the second youngest member of the Warriors. They're only separated by 3 months. So if they hold on to him, man, I do think the ceiling can be very high, man, especially if that 3-point shot starts consistently falling in that 40+% range. Absolutely. But
do you have any concerns about, like, Cyrus, about, because last time we got really excited like this about a young player, and there was good reason, but it was for pool. We were having pool parties. We're shooting 3. That didn't work out, obviously. So I'm just saying, like, I try not to get too overly excited about a young player until he has a couple of years under his belt. Because you just don't know. It's hard. Like it is. It's hard to tell. But I feel you overall, like Podziemski has all the earmarks and all the qualities of a good, young, solid, sturdy NBA player. And you're right. In April, the way he ended his season shooting last year is very encouraging.
Ooh,
yeah.
58.8%, man. And again, I know April's a small sample size, but even if that's over like a 2-week stretch, that is still fantastic, dude. So if that shot becomes consistent, I feel it, man. I see it and I understand it. And just the fact that he's a physical big dude. What are your thoughts on this, Paulie? I know we're already running past. I'm going to let you go in just a second. I promise.
Okay.
I'm not going to make you look like an asshole and run away from me. I will end the show. I promise. From the bottom of my heart. But Stephen Curry's got 2 years remaining on his deal.
Yeah.
And he's eligible for a 1-year contract extension. I've been telling other folks this, and I'll tell you this now as well, that one of my close inside sources has told me that they are very confident that Stephen Curry is going to retire at the age of 38. Like when these next 2 years are up, he's going to move on and focus on his family, on his media ventures. The dude can do whatever the hell he wants. He's set for life. If he wins Olympic gold, he's got the EGOT of professional basketball. For those unfamiliar with that reference, it's a term to actors where they win the 4 major awards. Steph with Olympic gold will have accomplished everything. If he doesn't sign that 1-year extension, I think that's the clearest sign that he's going to retire in 2 years. But you've been around him, you've interviewed him, you know him as well as anyone in the media circles. Do you think this is it for Stephen Curry, man? What are your thoughts?
I do. And again, I kind of agree with what you're saying, Cyrus. I've heard similar whispers from people around that team and close to the team, that what I have heard is that, and it's really not so much about the core of the team breaking up, like, Clay's gone, Draymond. It's more about Steph Curry. Like you said, he has achieved everything there is to achieve. And at a certain point, I think athletes have to consider this. Do you want to hang on like Michael Jordan and play with the Wizards and like have a good game every once in a while? Or do you want to be remembered for like the all-time great that you were? And I think there is something to be said for that. Like, I would rather see Steph Curry retire in 2 years as opposed to hang on, play 6 more years, have his minutes reduced. He's not the same guy. And he's just kind of getting minutes on a team that's not going anywhere. Now, I'm not saying who knows what's going to happen with the Warriors. Maybe they'll be contending. But my point is, I would rather remember Steph exactly how he is playing right now, because he's still I haven't seen his game slip, Cyrus. Like, there's really no drop off. So if he can walk out like that, remember when Randy Cross with the 49ers, he retired right after they won the Super Bowl.
Good reference, man. Good. Randy Cross. Look at you.
That's about walking out on top. Like, he won his 3rd Super Bowl and he's like, you know what? I'm good. I've done it all. Like, I'm out. Like, I'm going to go out while I'm still effective. I'm a starter. So I think there is some truth to that. And I've heard from the people that I know that are close to the team, I've just heard them say, like, Steph doesn't want to be one of those guys who's just kind of hanging around and hanging on to get every last little ounce of talent. Like, Mike Krukow said this, and I've never forgotten this, because Mike Krukow always said about baseball players and pitchers in particular, when we would ask Mike, hey, do you think it's time for Madison Bumgarner to retire, or whatever the example would be? And Mike always said, if you're a big league pitcher, you want to stay in the game until you've exhausted every last pitch from your arm. Like, when you leave the game, make sure you don't have another pitch to throw. And that's fine. But I don't think Steph Curry is one of those guys. Like, I don't think he has that mentality. I think he wants to leave as the all-time badass legend that he is, not like a shadow of what he once was.
And look, first of all, when Paul McCaffrey says he's heard things, you are a connected individual. Do not take that with a grain of salt, folks. That means something. Yeah. And secondly, until Tom Brady did what he did, athletes going into their 40s, that was not a normal thing. That was not an idea that represented reality, man. And then
the only guy, although there is one exception, and never forget, Nolan Ryan was throwing no hitters in his 40s. I mean, what the hell? But I got you. That's an outlier. Yeah.
Yeah. And Nolan Ryan was a beast. That's a great reference, man. But so my point is, like, LeBron James, for example, this could very easily be his last year too. I really do believe playing with his son was that important to him, and he's going to check that off the box. And he might be done after this year, and this might be the last 2 years of Stephen Curry. So I'll leave you with this, Paulie. Well, this will be the final question. I'll let you go because you're already staying almost 10 minutes longer than you committed to. What are you going to be happy with the Warriors if they don't go all out in making a push so that Stephen Curry is surrounded by the best possible talent to try and win at least one more title, man? Like in other words, if the Warriors don't make a big move, if the Warriors just continue with the status quo, if they stay on the current course they're at, is that okay with you? Will that sit well with you?
No, it's not okay with me. No, not at all. In fact, I think they should push all their chips. I really do. Because I think when you have a player of Steph Curry's caliber, and honestly, you have Draymond Green there to complement him, because nobody understands Steph like Draymond. Draymond knows where he's going to be, knows how to get him the ball. He knows all his tendencies and rhythms. So while you have those two Hall of Fame guys on the same team in the starting five, dude, get guys around Steph. Let's take another run at this thing. And I know for a fact, this is a fact, and I'm sure all the Warrior fans know this already too, but Steph wants another ring. As absurd as that might sound right now, given the state of the roster and some of the other teams that are out there that are really good, but again, I don't count Steph Curry out based on what I've seen in my life, man. But Steph wants one more, Cyrus. So I say yes. Let's help him make a move, make a big move. Let's rock this, man.
Absolutely, dude. The difference between 4 and 5 for Steph is so monumental. When we talk about legacy, when we talk about you and I being 70, 80 years old, talking about the good old days, and Steph will be on Mount Rushmore if he gets number 5. The stakes are that high, man. Would you agree? I mean.
Oh, totally. I mean, if he gets 5, dude, he's right alongside guys like Magic Johnson who has 5. I mean, that's the next. I mean, 4 already, dude, is absurd. Like, we never thought we'd have this, but you are right. You want to talk about separation of great to like all time, like immortal. A 5th that's it, bomb proof. He'd be bomb proof. You know,
absolutely, man. People can follow you on Twitter at Paulie's Pod. Any news on your new show?
Not yet, but soon. Okay. Very soon, you guys. I'm saying, just keep an eye on my Twitter page. I'll be making some announcements shortly. But, yeah, we're getting close, Cyrus.
I love it, man. And I'm coming on your show anytime you want. You know, ideally, hopefully, we'll be dual streaming, so we'll have both our shows running together. But, yeah, man, always a pleasure to see you, brother. Let's get you back on August 9th so we can heavily promote the event the very next day with a bunch of Giants players and for the Giants Community Fund. Anything else you want to promote before we go?
Nah, man, just have a good weekend, Cyrus. Much love to you. I've known you for a long time, and I'm happy to see you're doing such a good job, man. And I'll see you on August 9th.
Thank you, brother. Absolutely. I'll see you August 9th and August 10th at your event. And for everyone else, again, if anything happens, if Mike Lowry, if that trade is greenlit, I'm going live. We're going to have a party, figuratively speaking, and then we'll figure something out in terms of celebrating because that news will be huge. Otherwise, again, happy Friday. Paulie, love you, man. Stay cool.
Love you, buddy. Thanks, Cyrus.
And we'll be back.